What's up guys, Perry from Rockville here, and today I'm going to show you how to set up your BPA10 powered speaker. So as you can see, it comes with the speaker itself, a wireless remote, and a power cable. There's also a 35mm pole mount so we can mount it onto any speaker stand. To do that, we're going to loosen this knob here on the bottom of the speaker. Then we're just going to line up the pole mount to the top of our speaker stand, and then tighten the knob on the bottom to lock it in place to the stand. After that, we can go ahead and power the speaker by taking the included power cable. You're going to take the female end and plug it into the back of the speaker, then plug the other end into a power outlet. So now we can go ahead and power on our speaker. So if we take a look at the back of the speaker, you'll see that we have all these different inputs and outputs here. But first, let's take a look at this first channel here, because you'll see that we have a line input and a microphone input, so we can set up either an instrument or a microphone for vocals. And then we have the line and mic switch here to switch between the mic mode and the line mode. So first, let's go over how to set up a microphone to the speaker. To do that, I have my mic right here and an XLR cable. I'm gonna plug the female end of the cable into my mic. Then I'm gonna plug the other end into the mic input right here. After that, we can press the line mic button in for microphone mode, raise the volume knob here on the very top. And now if I turn my microphone on, check 1, 2, you should be able to hear my voice coming out of the speaker. Now while I have the microphone in, I want to show you guys how we can use the equalizer on the back of the speaker. So on the right, you'll see the equalizer where we have the treble and bass knob. So we can use the treble knob to adjust the high end coming out of our speaker and the bass knob to affect the low end coming out of our speaker. So for example, if I raise the treble knob, check 1, 2, check 1, 2, you'll hear a lot more presence coming out of my voice. And if I turn it all the way down, check 1, 2, check 1, 2, you're gonna hear most of the low end coming through. And if I set it back to the middle, check 1, 2, we got a nice balanced sound. Same thing goes with the bass knob. If I raise that all the way up, check 1, 2, check 1, 2, you're gonna be hearing a lot more bass coming out of my voice. And if I lower it, check 1, 2, check 1, 2, you're mostly gonna hear the high end coming through. So let's set that back in the middle, check 1, 2, for a nice balanced sound. Now we can also use the line input to set up instruments like keyboards or guitars. So to do that, I'm gonna take a 1/4" cable, plug one end into my guitar, then plug the other end into the 1/4" line input right here. I'm also gonna wanna be sure to set the channel to line mode. So now I can raise the volume here on my guitar, then I can raise the volume knob here on top, and now if I go ahead and play, you'll hear the guitar coming out of the speaker. Now we also have many different ways to play music through our speaker that include the SD card and the USB input. On the bottom here we also have an 1/8" aux input and an RCA line input. And the speaker also has Bluetooth compatibility so we can pair any smartphone or tablet. To switch between these different modes, we can press the mode button over here. And while we have a device plugged in, we have the music playback button, so we have the pause and play button, a repeat button, and we also have the previous and next buttons here to skip between tracks. And if we press and hold down the mode button, we can turn off the music playback altogether. Now keep in mind, if you want to control the volume coming from the aux input or the RCA line input, you're going to use the volume 2 knob here. And if you want to control the volume for your Bluetooth, SD card, or USB input, you're going to use the MP3 volume knob on the bottom corner here. So to show you how the Bluetooth works, I'm going to take my smartphone here. I'm going to go into the Bluetooth settings and search for the device that reads BPA10. Click on it to pair. And you'll know your device is connected when you hear that sound. After that, we can go ahead and play some music. Oh yeah. Awesome. Now a cool thing is if you have two BPA10s, you can link them together. Now before we start, we want to pick which speaker we want to have as our main speaker. So for today, we're going to go with this guy here. Now to connect my first speaker to the second speaker, I'm going to take an XLR cable. I'm going to plug the female in into the line out of my first speaker. Then I'm going to take the other end and plug it into the XLR line input on the next speaker. Now because I can switch between line mode or microphone mode with this channel, I'm going to want to make sure to leave the button out so that it's in line mode. I'm also going to want to raise this volume 1 knob here so that the signal coming from my first speaker is also playing out of the second speaker. So now anything coming from my first speaker is also going to play out of the second speaker, and to test that out, I have my phone connected to my first speaker through Bluetooth. I'm also going to raise the MP3 volume knob here so that the music is coming out of my first and second speaker. So let's go ahead and hear how it sounds. Yeah, that's awesome. Now another way we can use two BPA10s is by setting them up with a mixer for live performances, band rehearsals, etc. To do that, I'm going to take two XLR cables. I'm going to plug the male ends into the line inputs on the back of my speakers. Then I'm going to plug the other ends into the main XLR outputs on my mixer. Remember, because we're using the line inputs for our speakers, we're gonna go to the back and make sure the channels are set to line mode with the button pressed out. We're also gonna wanna raise the volume 1 knobs on both speakers so that the music is coming out of the speakers. We're also gonna wanna raise the main mix knob on our mixer. And to test it out, I have my phone connected to the mixer through Bluetooth. So let's go ahead and hear how it sounds. Yeah, awesome. Sounds great too. You can even expand this setup even further by using the line output of your speakers to connect to additional speakers or subwoofers. So you would just take the female end of your XLR cable and plug it into the line output of the speakers, then plug the other end into the input of your speakers or subs. Now the BPA10 also makes for a great karaoke setup since we can connect any smartphone or tablet, search for any karaoke version of a song on the YouTube app, and connect our microphone so we can sing along while we're reading the lyrics and playing the music through our iPad. So for that setup, I have my microphone and my XLR cable here. I'm gonna plug the female end into my microphone. Then I'm gonna plug the male end into the mic channel right here. I'm also gonna wanna set this channel to mic mode by pressing down on the mic button. Then I'm gonna raise the volume 1 knob. And now if I turn my microphone on, check 1, 2, you should be able to hear my voice coming out of the speaker. Now to set up the tablet to the speaker, I'm gonna make sure that my speaker is set to Bluetooth mode. Next, I'm gonna go into the Bluetooth settings on my tablet and search for the device that reads BPA10. Click on it to pair. And when you hear that sound, you'll know your device is connected to the speaker. So from here, we can go into the YouTube app or any app that has karaoke versions of any song and search for a song that we want to sing along to. And once we're ready, we can pick up the mic and start singing along. Hey now, you're an all-star, get your game on, go play. Hey now, you're a rock star, get the show on, get paid. We can also add a sub for additional low end. So here I have my speaker attached to the subwoofer, so all we have to do next is connect them by using an XLR cable. I'm gonna take the female end and plug it into the line output on my speaker. Then I'm gonna take the other end and plug it into the line input on my sub. I'm also going to want to make sure that the volume is set on my subwoofer, and from here we can connect any of our music sources to our speaker and have everything coming out of the speaker and the subwoofer at the same time. Another cool setup we can do is two BPA10s with the sub. So to do that, we're first going to link our two speakers together with an XLR cable. So with our first speaker here, we're going to take the female end of our XLR cable and plug it into the line output. Then we're going to plug the other end into the line input on the next speaker. The next thing we're going to want to do is connect our second speaker to the subwoofer. So to do that, I'm going to take another XLR cable, plug the female end into the output of the second speaker, then plug the other end into the input of our sub. We're also going to want to make sure that our second speaker is set to line mode with this button pressed out. Next, I'm going to want to raise the volume 1 knob so that our second speaker can produce sound from the first speaker. And I'm also going to make sure that the volume is up on our sub as well. Now from here, we can use any of the music sources available on the first speaker between the SD or USB input, the RCA line input, the aux input, or the Bluetooth mode, which I'm going to be using for this demo. Remember, if you're using the line input or the aux mode to turn up the volume 2 knob, or if you're using the SD card, USB, or Bluetooth mode, you're going to want to raise the MP3 volume knob. So let's go ahead and hear how our setup sounds. So hopefully this showed you guys how easy it is to set up your BPA10 powered speaker. But of course, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, feel free to reach out to our customer support team through phone or email. As always, I'm Perry from Rockville, and we'll see you guys next time.